Page 10, O Little Town of Bethlehem. 4/4 time, no sharps or flats except what they stick in the music. We'll deal with that. Talk about this one hand at a time. This has got some neat stuff going on here. You'll notice it starts with a pickup beat because there's only one beat in the first measure. Well, it's the end. It's a pickup measure. The other three beats are actually at the end, at the bottom of page 11. You see the last measure has 3 counts in it. So total it makes up 4. It's okay. That's the way they do it. So you're starting on, look here in this position. So it's starting on beat 4. So it's 4, 1, 2, and then a D sharp. And then the left hand takes over. And the second line, last measure, you're here. And then they want second finger for the quarter note. You're between phrases, you're going to lift up anyway, so that's fine. And then the left hand takes over, and then the second line on page 11, you got to move the right hand again, but you got rest, so you can just fourth finger on the B, on the D, on the E. I'll get there, give me a moment now. So it's 4, 1, 2. Left hand does some things, and the third line down, second measure, you're here, fourth finger on the dotted half note, and then between the phrase you're going to lift up anyway, so just move here, and you're back in position. Now on the last line, you got to rest, you got to move again, come up one more, and now here you're just going to reach the thumb down, and then the hand. We moved again. This is another way we move, by the way. With just one finger at a time. And then a dotted rhythm. So the last 2 measures is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Now, there's a few tricky things going on in the right hand, but you can work those out. Now the left hand, you're starting out with second finger on C, puts you in this position. It's a whole note. Then a half rest, and then we get. Now there's a phrase there. So between the A and the D, lift up. So there's a little silence. Don't connect the A and the D. Here and then lift up. So it's last measure on the first line is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. And the right hand does its thing. Then you get the same thing at top of page 11, the last 2 measures of the first line. It's here, lift up. And then the right hand takes over there. And then the second line, left hand moves. Now both hands are moving. You have a fourth finger on the E, so we're going to go down here. You got rest, so you can do it. Because you're ending up here on the C in the first measure of the second line. And then during the rest, you move down here. Rest. F sharp and G sharp both, and then a rest, and then an A. Third line, second measure, that is an E and a G sharp, and then a rest, and during the rest you got to move again up here. Both hands are moving around a little bit. The first measure, the last line is fourth finger, then you have some rest and you got to move again down here. So both hands are moving around a little bit. That's going to take some practice because you can't hesitate. You can't mess up the beat. The beat's got to be there, steady. You can go as slow as you need to. That's fine, but the beat has to be there. So when you put the hands together here at the beginning, you're here. You're kind of in the way, but that's okay. 2, 3, lift up. Now make sure you play these rests in the left hand. In other words, like look at the first measure on page 11. The left hand comes up on beat 3. When you play the A in the right hand, the left hand comes up. Right there. The right hand comes down. Now, it sort of looks like there's a quarter rest between the C and the E. There's not. is just a little bit of silence between the phrases is all. So this is 1, 2, 3. So don't lift up 1, 2, rest. No, that's incorrect. You got to hold the C down for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. And then while you're doing that, then you got to get that left hand down here. 1, 2, 3. Right hand just moved again, and the left hand too. One at a time though. It's because you're here, and first you move the right hand, and then as you play the E, you move the left hand up. 2, 3. So it's a little tricky. Just take your time with it. Now the phrasing, I talked about the phrasing. I don't do a lot of dynamics. I suggest you get to know the piece and you feel the dynamic. They're saying sort of soft at the beginning. That's the melody. Everything else has to be very soft. The melody. Don't play these the same. Now play that whole note soft. Very soft. We want to hear the melody. And then you stay sort of soft, and over on page 11, second line, you go up to medium loud, just a little louder than medium soft, not much, just here. And that's the melody. Keep the other part soft. We want to hear the right hand. Don't play this loud. Now, in the third line, the left hand plays melody. And anywhere else left hand plays melody, it's got to be the same loudness as the right hand was playing melody. It's got to sound like one hand played the whole thing. And third line down, in the second line, the second measure, now the left hand's soft. Now you back down to medium soft for the melody, and very soft for the other. See that one note on the last line there on page 11 here? That's the same loudness as the right hand because it's melody. At the end, the C, we want to hear that. This other is soft. So you have to work out these dynamics and practice them. You ought to be able to play one hand louder than the other. If you're doing the scales, and I hope you are, you can practice that by when you do the scale up and down, play one hand louder than the other and take turns. Sometimes it's the right hand that's loud and sometimes it's the left hand that's loud. So you got to go both ways. We need that kind of control. It takes a while to get that control for most people. It did for me. So I'm encouraging you to just keep working on it. Now at the end, at the bottom of page 11, last measure, they're showing a pedal for that. If you're going to use pedal, you push the notes down and then the pedal, and then you'll raise the pedal and the notes at the same time. I'm not showing the pedal. I disagree with it. Bastien does this a lot. Then the last measure of a piece, they'll put the pedal down, and I disagree with that because the pedal changes the tones. And at the end of the piece, I want it to die away. I want it to get softer. If you add pedal, it adds all these overtones, and that doesn't get it softer. It makes it a fuller sound. I don't want a fuller sound at the end, so I don't do pedal on this, and as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to. But if you're looking for an excuse to use the pedal, there you go. You can use it for that measure. I'd like to play this with you slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not doing the dynamics, any of that. I'm not doing the pedal. So go ahead and put your hands where they go to start. I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. And we'll do it slowly together. 1, ready, go. Two, 4.